Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, hosted by Slam and Jordan.
What's going on, MBL universe? It's your boy Slam, back again with my main man Ray, or Jordan, as you know him. What's going on, Ray?
What's up, Slam? What's up, MBL?
This is the first time we've done this under the MBL banner, right?
Yeah, man, feels good.
Yeah, man, coast to coast. Today on the show, we have we're gonna do a coast to coast overview of the league. We're gonna look at some over-unders for MBL season 52. Talk about some teams' perspective win totals, and we're gonna make our way too early predictions. I'm actually looking forward to hear what Ray has to say. His perspective on MBL football is completely different than mine, and I think that's what makes Coast to Coast so great, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. That's what makes it beautiful. Let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to start in the AFC East. You have the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, and the New England Patriots. I believe this division was won in season 51 by the Buffalo Bills, if I'm correct.
Correct.
New England had a pretty sizable advantage in the division pretty much all year. I think they only had a couple of losses as we kind of hit the stretch, and then they lost a group of games in a row, and Buffalo was able to sneak back up and win the whole thing.
Yeah, tough last stretch of the season for them. That was just not the way they wanted to end their season at all. They made it in the playoffs, had to play a road game against the Bills, and came up short. They played well in that game though, but like I said, just came up just short.
Well, with that said, we'll start there in New England. So for season 52, New England Patriots, the over/under sitting at 11.5. You taking the over or the under on 11.5 wins for New England?
Yep, taking the under. I believe last year, to begin the season, they had a favorable schedule, and so they were a product of that schedule. They looked good during the year, but they won the games that they were supposed to win. And then down the stretch, the schedule got a little tougher, and as you saw, their record showed that tough schedule. So I think this year they may struggle again.
Couldn't agree more. Actually, I was always a little, skeptical of what New England brought to the table last season, even though they were winning games and looking good doing it. I don't want to say prediction, but I was validated in the where they finished. So let's move on to the division winner, the Buffalo Bills. Even though they won the division, their win total was sitting at 9.5. You taking the over or the under?
I'm taking the over. This team got better in the off season. They looked good towards the end of the season, had a little run in the playoffs. I think, as far as their division mates, I think they can, kind of split the series with the Patriots, but I think they can sweep the rest of the team.
The division wins for Buffalo, or the division games for Buffalo, I think that they, between the 4 games with Miami and New York, I don't see them getting any less than 3 wins. And even if they split with the Patriots, yeah, I do still think they're the best team in this division, and I do think they are going to go over 9.5 wins as well. Even though we say that our outlook on this is usually quite different, we're of similar mind so far. So let's move to the Miami Dolphins. The nice win total of 3.5, and I think 3.5 could be generous for this Miami team.
I'm looking at this Miami team, and when they set in and they play, and Tua doesn't throw 60 interceptions, they can get a dub, man. 3 of them, I'm not quite sure. I think they can go over 3. I think they'll go over 3.5, and they'll go right to 4. This is my prediction.
Okay,
they'll hit right on 4.
So you're taking the over at 4. I'm going to take the under.
I'm taking my under.
Okay. I'm taking the under. This is a definitely number one pick watch here. For sure.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, all these weapons on offense. They can't get.
They traded Tua. Who threw 16 interceptions, and they brought in a rookie.
Brooks.
Worse than Tua?
Could be. We'll see.
I don't know. I don't see a rookie coming in and doing better than a veteran, even though the veteran threw 16 interceptions. I wouldn't be surprised if the rook threw 60 interceptions.
I think they just need to slow down, kind of run the offense through A-Chain a little bit, run the ball a little bit more. Just slow down the offense, get the ball into your playmakers' hands. You got Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's, you slow it down. Yeah, it is easier said than done, but, especially when you try to limit those turnovers. I mean, 60 interceptions is wild, but you limit the turnovers, you'll be good. You can win 4 games.
60 interceptions is crazy. All right, so moving on to the New York Jets. This is a team that I don't know what this team is. They I believe they also made a change at quarterback in the offseason.
They did.
I'm checking right now on the depth chart. Currently,
okay, they
have, if my computer is failing me at the moment, no, actually, I don't think they are going to make a change at quarterback. I think they're going to
Aaron Rodgers or Zach Wilson. Yep. And I'm not sure who's going to start. I was kind of listening into some of the Jets brass, and they haven't made a decision if Aaron Rodgers even start this season. They didn't like some of the throws that he made last season. I think this is a candidate as well for your number 1 pick. I think this team is going to not do too well this season. With the over-under is 8.5. That's really high. I'm definitely taking under on that one. This team is going to struggle, but they're going to run the ball really well with Breece Hall. As long as the team can figure out how to stop that run, that's where they're going to struggle.
Yeah, I think that whatever quarterback they roll out, Aaron Rodgers or Zach Wilson, I think it's going to be much of the same. A little bit of struggle. They'll win some games that you don't expect them to, but then they'll lose some games that you do expect them to, and they'll kind of fall. I think they'll fall somewhere right in that 500 range. I don't think that they're number 1 pick by any means. I think there's some teams that they're, I will say, much better than in the league. So I will also take the under, but a slight under. I think they're going to win. They're going to be somewhere in the 6 to 7 win range.
I think they're playing are they playing the AFC South? And
it looks like
NFC West. So those are some pretty tough divisions to play against. Yeah, there's going to be some low win totals in the Jets. But I do like Breece Hall, though. Breece Hall is
of course. Everybody likes Breece Hall. I think there's 31 other teams who would love to have him in their colors. So let's jump across conference to the NFC East. You're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders, New York Giants. This is the division that was won, I want to say, rather easily by the New York Giants last season.
Was it rather easily? Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I don't remember if it came down to the wire or not.
Well, yeah, I think the Eagles Commanders came down to the wire, but I mean those really, the Eagles didn't make the playoffs, but they're definitely a playoff team, playoff caliber team. They were fighting for the same last spot as the Commanders, which the Commanders made it in and made an amazing run. So yeah, I don't know if this year the Giants are gonna run away with it quite like they did last year.
Well, they're sitting at 12.5 wins, and I feel like that might be a little generous. I don't know if this team quite has an identity. We've seen them play. this is probably a team that I've seen play the most in MBL. And
building the franchise, yeah.
Every time they are on building the franchise. You should see a group of New York Giants football games on the MBL Twitch network. But this is a team that I don't know. Sometimes they stumble into wins. It looks like they kind of play. This is a team that definitely should beat a lot of teams and should beat a lot of teams easily, and they don't always do that.
Well, look, so I want to come at you straight, Mike. So the Giants starting out their season, they're at the Eagles, at the Commanders, at the Seahawks.
I'm ready.
At home against the Commanders, at home against the Ravens, Eagles again. This schedule is brutal for them. I mean, this is going to be definite challenge to get 12 games out of the schedule. It's going to be really tough. I do think they'll get double-digit wins, but 12 might be a little too high. I think this division is going to be really, really tough for them.
Okay, so you're taking the under on the New York Giants. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one too. But a slight under. I think that they take, they might win 12 games. So I'm also going to take the under with you. All right, moving on to the Washington Commanders. This is a team that's always really fun to play because you know that the games are going to be exciting. And you're going to see some offense, you're going to see some defense, but you're also going to see some offense and defense from the other team. And I don't think we could ask for much more than that. They're sitting at 8.5 wins currently. How do you feel about that?
I think, starting out in the offseason, I thought this team, they traded away Brandon Robinson, their starting running back. I thought that was going to hurt them. But then I remember going back to their last playoff game where they actually beat, well, not the last playoff game, but their last two, but they played the Panthers and they played the Seahawks, and they beat those two teams. Looking back at, how they competed, Brian Robinson didn't make the impact for that team, and for some reason, I believe this Washington team can get better. They traded Brian Robinson away. They now have a new rookie running back, starting. But I think this team has kind of built out their defense. I think they run a kind of an exotic bend but don't break defense, and I think that's what wins them games. It keeps them in games at least. And so I think, definitely Washington is going to be way over. I'm high on this team. I think they're going to kind of, be in competition with the Giants. I see them, also getting double-digit wins. But again, the schedule is going to be tough. This NFC East schedule is going to be brutal. But I really like the Commanders team.
I don't think you could have said it much better. There, they start right out of the gate with probably the cream of the crop of the NFC, playing the Panthers. And
I love that rematch, man. That rematch from that playoff game. The Panthers are hot right now, and so they're at home too, and they want to put a hurt on the Commanders. But I think the Commanders, man, they're going to give them a fight again.
Of course, and I wouldn't have it any other way, actually. And they also, it's always fun when the schedule comes out and you get to look and see how it's generated. And the Commanders play the Giants within the first 4 weeks of the season, both times.
Yeah.
Week 2 and week 4. Yeah. So getting those games out of the way early. I definitely don't think you're going to see the best version of both teams in those games, and that might play to the Commanders' advantage if we're being real.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. 8.5 wins. I'm thinking this Commanders team has a shot at double-digit wins, even though the schedule is packed with contenders. So that takes us to the Philadelphia Eagles. They are also at 8.5 wins. The book seems to think that they're right there in the middle of the road, with like many other teams in the MBL. But I I don't know if 8.5 wins is with the divisions that they have to play this year. I don't know if 8.5 wins is in their future. So I'm gonna quickly take the under on Philadelphia at 8.5.
I disagree with you on that one. I think the Eagles also squeak into a double-digit win total. I think this division has a tough schedule, but I think they squeak out games, and I think they bring out 3 double-digit winning teams in this division. Eagles are easily a double-digit win team. I think the pace that they play at, it fits them. It slows the game down, but they also get their playmakers involved, and they make some big plays to win games.
4 out of their first 5 games are against playoff teams, and not just playoff teams, but like teams that were playoff teams. They have the Giants, the Bengals, the Bucks, and the Panthers. 4 of their first 5. There is a world, there is a universe in which they start 1-4, 0-5. I wouldn't be shocked. So,
yeah.
I think if they're
the last six, they have a combined 1 playoff team that they play. So, just as devil's advocate, and then you can push it up to their combined 9. They only have 2 playoff teams that they play. So, as tough as the start might be for this team, I think the finish will actually catapult them into getting that double-digit win total.
Excellent. So that moves us to the Dallas Cowboys. Ooh, boy. 4.5.
Yeah, this is the one team that I think it's going to be tough for them. I might even take the under on this one, honestly. Like I said, if they got 3 teams making double digits, one of these teams not going to make double digits, and one of these teams might not make it to 5 wins. And this is the team right here. The Cowboys are struggling. They're still trying to figure out what their roster looks like. But I think this team's going to struggle. I think they have just 3 really good teams in their division, and I think this team needs another year to kind of build that roster to be able to compete.
The team they're definitely playing the long game. I don't think that they're in.
I agree.
Yeah, they're definitely not in win now mode. They definitely have win now talent, but I don't know if. I mean, obviously everyone is trying to win, but I don't know if this team is really a team that. I don't want to say wants to compete now, because everybody wants to compete, but I think that they have a bigger picture in mind. We're going to jump back into the AFC. The Baltimore Ravens, the AFC North. The AFC North was won by the Cincinnati Bengals last season. They started 8-0, 9-0, something like that, and no one ever really challenged them for the division. But the
Ravens? Oh, you're talking about you said the Bengals. I'm sorry.
Bengals. Yes. Sorry. If I said Ravens first and didn't say Bengals, my fault. But no one really challenged the Bengals for the division because they got off to such a hot start. But they weren't able to put it all together in the playoffs, and they eventually lost to the Ravens, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. They lost to the Ravens in the divisional round. They didn't even make it to the championship game. Wow.
No, they didn't.
But this is a team, though, that knows exactly who they are, knows exactly what they want to do. They definitely think they're better than you, and they...
You said they definitely...
Am I wrong?
So they just drafted, a 6'9" tight end themselves, who they're looking to kind of deploy that young rookie out there with Higgins and Chase. Just add to the myriad of weapons that they have. And, again, they're number 1 offense last season. And so this is a team that, you say 14.5. They got the Super Bowl champs in their division. They have the Browns, who were pretty close to, making the playoffs. They have the Steelers, who, are coming back. They're just trading TJ Watt. So I don't know what the Steelers are going to look like, but they got better on offense at least. So 14.5. I still like them at that number. I think they'll get to there. I think, I'll take the over on that one.
All right.
Because they were number one offense. I think their defense got a little better too. So we'll see them. We'll see how they work.
I'm I think everybody 14 and a half. 14 and a half is a weird number because it's obviously high, but I'm taking 14 wins for this team. I'm going under. I believe the Bengals win 14 games this year.
Okay. Hey. Why? How'd they get worse?
I don't think they got worse. I think other teams got more competitive.
Better. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, there was. I mean, this one's kind of close to home. Week 18, they came back from 21 points down. I think got an onside kick. I don't know if they got an onside kick. I don't remember how it ended, but I remember it ended with the Bengals winning a game that they obviously deserved to win. But if that game goes a little differently, then you have a couple other games in the season like that too. Because I know they had a couple of comeback wins last season, if I'm not mistaken. So the ball doesn't always bounce your way. And no, I don't think anybody would get mad at 14 wins.
I just have 14 wins. Hey, I think yeah.
Yeah, I'd take 14 wins. Give me 14 wins, please.
All right. Yeah. Good.
All right. The Pittsburgh Steelers traded TJ Watt. Yeah.
They're hating with Jack last season. I don't mind that trade. I just mind that they traded Joey Porter Jr. as well when they already were struggling to defend. So that kind of forced them to draft a ton of rookies at the cornerback position. I believe, don't quote me, I have to see how many rookies they drafted.
I could tell you.
But I know it was,
it is always weird to me when a team trades a player and then drafts a player at that position.
Well, they not only drafted a player, they drafted 3 players to replace
3
kind of what
3 rookies in secondary.
Kind of gave to them. But I mean, Warmack's going to be a great corner. That was a really good pick, and they have 2 other young corners who look really good from what they showed in the preseason. So the team is not at all in a bad place from that move. You gave up a pass rusher. He had 1 sack last season. So, if the team doesn't know how to use them, go get other talent in other places. And that's what they did. They went out and got Deebo Samuel. So now you have a Deebo Samuel, a George Pickens, Deontay Johnson out there. And, that serves well for this team. This team wants to be offensive. They have the Bengals that they're trying to play against. They have the Browns and the Ravens they need to play against. This division is a straight shootout, man. So these teams, the Steelers are looking ahead and saying, hey, we got to win a shootout. So let's get more offensive instead of, trying to play defense, which we're not doing well at all. I like the move.
Yeah, they want to score more than 28 points a game and hope that they can make the one stop when it counts. And I don't know, this secondary is very suspect.
I think they'll be all right. You got Mika back there. He'll get them boys in line. They'll be straight. Yeah, over 8.5 for sure.
Okay.
This division is crazy. I'll be honest with you. So I mean, we can blow right through this, but yeah, they're going to be over 8.5. And that it's going to be crazy in this division. I don't know what's what.
Some would say that this is the best. This is the best division in MBL. I know I would. I'm biased.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. That NFC South is pretty good as well. I think a lot of people are asleep NFC South. I mean, let's finish up with this. We'll get to the South.
We will eventually, but I'm not asleep. And the only reason I'm asleep is because they're putting me to sleep. Anyway.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway, I'm taking the under. I think this defense takes a step back, even though they played last season with Trubisky at quarterback for a large portion of the season.
Quarterback.
Yeah. Still. Doesn't matter,
I
man.
think he's gonna be comeback player of the year, man. Easily. If they don't award that, they're gonna make one for him this season. He's gonna ball out.
All right. I respect your opinion. I value your opinion, but I'm still taking the under. Cleveland Browns, 8.5.
Under.
Under.
No. This division, I mean, you got the Cleveland Browns. They had to let go Nick Chubb to save cap.
Mark
Cooper had to go. Oh my gosh.
Every wide receiver that they had last year that had catches, gone.
So look, I mean, Myles Garrett can only take this team so far. So I think Myles Garrett can get this team to about 7 wins. If that, I mean, the schedule is just, it's crazy. Now this defense did get better somehow. I mean,
Defense got better.
This is wild. So I mean, yeah, this team, it's under. They're a few moves away from really competing in this division. This division is too powerful. Can the defense really slow down these offenses? Like I said, the Steelers are going to be good on offense, really good. The Ravens are good on offense. They're Super Champs. And then, of course, Cincinnati was number 1 on offense last season. So getting better on defense is good. But you got to put up.
We're going to see, because the Browns start out home for the Chiefs, home for the Colts, at Ravens, at Bengals. This is also a world in which the Browns can start 0-4. And
good luck, Cleveland.
Right? And this is a team. So we were talking about the Eagles, and if they start off 1-4 or 0-5 or whatever, completely different outlooks. If Cleveland starts 0-4, if Cleveland starts 0-4, they may sell and look towards next year. So who knows? But I will also take the under. I do think the defense will keep them in a lot of games.
You don't have to do your own team.
I mean, I'm going to. It is. I picked my team to win the Super Bowl one time.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, that was a real.
That was wild.
There definitely are 8 or 9 winnable games on this schedule, for sure, for sure. But that's asking a lot of the offense. I think that games that this Cleveland team wins are going to be really low scoring.
Yeah, I mean, you need Watson to ball out and paying them that much.
Yeah,
he hadn't ripped up the whole team. Chubb gone, they're gone. Everybody gone because Watson making it.
Super Bowl champs, Baltimore Ravens at 12.5.
I mean, they showed us last year that it doesn't matter how they start. They're gonna play their game. Playoffs, they got hot, went to the Super Bowl, won it. So this team, I think they continue the momentum. I think they go over. They continue playing to their strengths, and it will be a struggle, but they're going to compete so well. This schedule is tough, but the Super Bowl champs, man, they're gonna do their thing. I don't think they'll have that Super Bowl hangover during the season at all.
They might lose a couple games in the middle.
You think they're going under 12?
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be real close. It's gonna be real close.
Yeah, dang. So under 12.
Hold on. Under 12.5.
Okay.
They might get to 12.
Okay.
They might get to 12.
They get to 12. Dang.
Yeah.
Tough on these boys, huh?
I mean,
why the bias?
They're gonna lose 2 games to the Browns for sure.
What bias?
No, it's not. Once again, give me 12 wins. I'll take 12 wins.
Yeah, I mean, 12, yeah.
I mean,
12 gets you in the playoffs, and then, like they showed, they can rip off some games, and now you're in the championship.
12 wins gets you in the playoffs for sure.
Oh, work.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of teams in MBL that would take 12 wins. So, just because I'm going under doesn't mean I hate them. Team's good. Team's real good. They won the Super Bowl. What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Ray's going over. I'm going under. He doesn't hate the Ravens. This isn't no bulletin board material. Hey, all right. Let's jump across the NFC North. Some would say the softest division in MBL. I wouldn't say that. Some would. Anyway, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears. We'll start at the bottom. The Chicago Bears, 7.5.
Over.
Ooh. Oh, that was a quick over. Very quick.
Yeah, he's over. And they retooled in free agency. Justin Fields is about to have a career year. Yeah, this team's gonna compete very well. They're going over. This playoff team for sure.
Playoff team for sure. All right.
Yeah, this is one of my picks. I like this team. They're building.
Yeah. I'm with you. With you on this one. I think you kind of swayed me a little bit. I was going to say a wild card team, but playoff team for sure. Division winner for sure.
I think, the pieces that they got, going out and getting Leonard Williams, beefing up the D-line, getting Austin Eckler at running back. They went out and got Harrison Smith at safety. They went out and got, retooled their secondary. And then the draft picks coming in. So, the team is set up they're going to keep building, of course. But I think they're going to compete in this division.
All right. I'm over with you. Let's move on to the Green Bay Packers. 11.5. Under. Under.
Ray. Jordan Love is just not. The Packers play to protect Love in every facet of the game. They make very quick throws, and if it is a throw down the field, it's a very safe throw down the field. They're not in love with Love at all. They've openly said they're not. This is not their quarterback of the future. So with that being said, Jonathan Taylor is going to pace this team for at least 9 to 10 wins, but getting to 11, I think, is a stretch.
All right. The Vikings, 7.5.
I don't know. I like what the Vikings are doing. The Vikings clearly, they had their issues, I guess, last season, you can say, in-house with Justin Jefferson. There's a few reports out that he no longer wanted to be with the team, and then all of a sudden they made up, and he finished the season strong, and now he's going into this season. This team is clearly, they love speed. They went out and signed Dalvin Cook, then they drafted, a young rookie, Nigel Bradley. This team is going to surprise this division. Going out and getting Will Levis at quarterback is just going to help them kind of manage the game a little bit more. But I think they're under. I'm so high on the Bears that I'm like, what do I do with the Vikings? I think they go under though.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of fighting an uphill battle. And they might be another one of those teams that comes right in at 7 wins. But 7 wins isn't 7.5. So it's an under for me as well. The Detroit Lions at 9.5. Another one of those teams that you expect a little bit more from. Even though they were a playoff team, you still, I don't know, I feel like they just kind of always leave you wanting a little bit more. And their win total is 9.5. I'm thinking they go over 9.5 though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they go over 9.5.
Yeah. Yeah. This team always gets better as more time goes on. So, yeah, over for sure. Over 9.5 for sure. And they'll even win a playoff game. You do early prediction. So there you go. Let's jump back over to the AFC. The AFC South, the Jaguars, the Texans, the Titans, and the Colts. And we'll start with the Jaguars, who had a killer draft. The book doesn't seem to care. 3.5.
But yeah, I definitely think this team goes over 3.5. I watched a few of their games last season, and they played very well. They just lost it in the last possession. I think they fixed some of those, decisions that they made, in those final drives, and they find ways to win games this season. They had one of the best drives in probably MBL history, and so I think this team can definitely look to the future and get at least 5 to 6 wins.
Well, when we do this same episode again next season, we're going to be talking about how they had the second best draft in MBL history because they're going under 3.5 wins. So they're going to do it again next year too. They're going to run it back for sure. No shade. Just is what it is. Houston Texans, 11.5. That wins the division handily. 11.5.
Houston, I don't know. They come out and they play well against some teams, and then they kind of lose their fire against others. The team was inconsistent last season only because they lost their starting quarterback for around 7 weeks. So, that's always tough to have a consistent offense when your starting quarterback is gone. But I think, this team, they can definitely get to over 11.5. I think they're going over as well.
It's true. Quarterback stays healthy. You win at least half of those games that he missed. Yeah, they're going over 11.5 for sure. Tennessee Titans, 6.5.
Under.
I'm with you. I don't even really need to talk about it personally. They're going under 6.5. I don't know where 7 wins comes from this team.
Me neither.
That was quick. Sorry, Tennessee Titans fans, but it is what it is. Indianapolis Colts, 9.5. This is a team that I expect a lot more from. I expected a lot more from them last year. And why?
Yeah.
I just do. Even though they traded Jonathan Taylor and DeForest Buckner, I think that there was a plan there. I don't think that that was just because. And I think that the plan was reinforced in this offseason. And their total is 9.5. They're winning 10 games at least this year. So I'm going over.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule for the AFC South is not as difficult as some of their counterparts in other divisions, so I will agree with you. They'll go over 9.5.
Sweet. All right. Division you wanted to talk about, the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers. Let's start at the top. Carolina, 13.5.
13.5 is a really good number for them. I think they get 14 actually. Probably will become easy. I think they could possibly become the number 1 seed in NBL. The coaching is way too good in Carolina. And they are fired up after their loss against the Commanders at home in the playoffs. So they'll be looking to come out fast this season.
I'm looking at this Panthers schedule, and I see 2 games where I'm like, they might not win those. The rest, they might win those. Over. Heavy over. No expert analysis needed. No. This is a team that's going to be better than most teams that they line up against, and they're going to prove it. Surprise team from last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl run. Came up against a better team than the Ravens. They lost. They played well. They deserve to be there for sure.
11.5. They can get to 11.5. They're going to have a tough schedule, to say the least, especially when you play. I really like the NFC East, but they're playing the NFC East. They also have a rematch against Super Bowl champs, which I'll be tuning into that game. That's going to be a really good game week 4. But I think they'll go over 11.5. Their defense is really good.
Defense really good. Offense gambles a little too much for my liking. I think they take a small step back under 11.5.
Yeah, it takes money to make money, though.
I agree, but sometimes you lose. Atlanta Falcons, 8.5.
Atlanta Falcons, arguably best roster in MBL. Arguably. Absolute best roster in MBL. If they don't go over 8.5, you have to fire the entire coaching staff for this team. And this is, I don't know if that's pressure for them. It's not pressure from us, but when you build a roster like that, you should be a playoff team every single year. It's a young roster too. So they should be dominating from here on out, because that roster is one of the best I've seen.
Dominating, he says. Taking a quick glance at their schedule, if they were in any other division, I would say I would have more faith. But
over 8.5, they can't get over 8.5 with that roster, even in this division. 8.5,
gonna be close.
Somebody got to lose.
So yeah, somebody has to. It's gonna be close. They might get 9. So I'm going under. Yep, sorry. New Orleans Saints, 6.5.
They're still trying to form a roster. They'll be under.
Yeah,
they'll need some time to be able to get that roster right to compete. It's really tough. This is a really tough division for them. But they'll win some games, but 6.5 is just too much of a stretch for them. They'll go under.
Agreed. I'm under with you as well. All right. Jumping back across, the AFC West. Chiefs, the Raiders, Chargers, and the Broncos. We'll start at the bottom of this one. The Raiders, 5.5.
They got a new quarterback in Tua. I'm interested to see him play in Vegas. So they'll go under.
Yeah, I think they get to. It's another one of those teams. They get to 5 wins. Still an under.
Yeah. They're still competing though.
No. We definitely have pieces to compete, but I just, like you said, somebody's got to lose. Los Angeles Chargers, 7.5.
I like this team. They lost a lot of good pieces. They'll be under 7.5 though.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think they took a step back as well and have to reload. So under as well. Kansas City Chiefs, 11.5. Team started out real hot last year, if I remember correctly. They were one of 2 remaining undefeateds.
Yeah, I mean, they started hot and they finished hot. They just went to the playoffs. Just ran into the future Super Bowl champions, and so that was just the luck of the draw right there. I think this is a great team. I think they only got better this season, and so this kind of fixed some holes that they might have had, and now they're rolling right back out. Pachenko's going to lead them. Pachenko might be in the running for MVP this season. Just giving you a little tidbit. So Pachenko is he's, I don't know, we'll see, but he might go off.
All right, so I'm assuming that's an over from you.
Yeah, that's an over. It's 11.5 is, yeah, they'll be over.
Okay. I think they overachieved last year, personally. I think that they regress, not much, but a little. So I'm going to go under. Denver, 13.5.
I'm gonna let you discuss these Broncos.
You're going to abstain?
Yeah. No bias here.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's fair enough. They're going over, though. They're going over 13.5.
Over 13.5?
They're going over 13.5, and they're winning the division.
What? They old, man.
Yeah, 13.5. They're over it. 14 is over. So, there you go. All right, NFC West. San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks, Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals. We'll start in the middle of this division. Arizona Cardinals, 4.5.
This team plays so hard, man. They're still building a roster. I want to give them an over, but they're still building a roster. I think they'll go over. They'll surprise some teams, man. I think they'll get a few upsets. And so, yeah, they'll be over. I like Arizona.
Yeah, over 4.5 for sure.
Yeah, they'll be over.
For sure, over 4.5. All right, Los Angeles Rams, 3.5.
Oh, under.
Quick under.
Yeah. I'm still building.
3.5. Yeah, but 3.5, man. 3.5 is really low. They're going to play a fourth place schedule.
I don't see them beating the Cardinals twice. I don't see them beating the Seahawks. I don't see them beating the 49ers. This is where I believe they'll barely push 3 wins. This is why I say under.
All right, I'm looking at the schedule. I agree. Looking at the schedule, yes. Also, you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. They're going under 3.5. They're number 1 pick watch for sure.
Again.
Yep.
Back to back.
All right. Seattle Seahawks. 13.5.
Man, give it up to Malik Willis, MVP. This team's going to go under. Under 13. Fair.
Okay.
I mean, I think they'll be at 13, honestly. So it's not a knock on them. I just think a few of these teams, their schedule in general, I think a few of these teams that they're playing will give them a good run for their money. Like I said, I really like the Bears. And I think, just some of these teams that they play, I think they're going to push them a little bit more than what they had last season. And so I think 13 is right what they are, but that's under according to this book. So under for me.
I'm going over. I think Seattle psychs a lot of teams out before the game even starts. And with that alone, I think they'll get a handful of wins. So I think they make it to about 14, win the division easily. I'm going over for Seattle. And then we'll finish it off with my favorite MBL team for sure, the San Francisco 49ers at 8.5.
I don't think there's a better defensive line in NBL history. Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, Bosa. That's crazy. That's, I don't know. Yeah, but they'll be over.
Over 8.5.
I think they go over 8.5. Yeah.
Okay.
That defense, it's just the pace that they play at fits their defensive line. They're going to slow you down on offense. They're going to say, hey, let's get this game going. But they're going to slow the pace down, and that allows their defense to kind of wreck shop.
You won't be able to run on this team, but I think you're throwing the ball fairly easily. The pass rush is what the pass rush is what the pass rush is. But, I don't think there's more to it than that. I think, it's very important, but I still think that this team lands right around 8 wins. So I'm going to take a slight under. Yeah, slight under there. So
I'm shocked.
What's up?
I said I'm shocked.
I mean, it's not no hate. No hate. A little bit of hate, not a lot. Anyway, Way too early Super Bowl prediction, Ray. Hit me.
Super Bowl. Oh man, I think that the Texans.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like it.
Houston figures it out. They represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, and I believe the Carolina Panthers represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. So Houston versus Carolina. Carolina wins Super Bowl this year. My way too early prediction. Write it down.
All right. For me, I think the Bengals put it together. Finally, they get there, and you know what? We're just going straight favorites because at some point you gotta. Cincinnati, Seattle. Season 52 Super Bowl champion. Yeah, there it is. Cincinnati versus Seattle.
Nice.
Yep, I'm on it. And obviously we'll revisit these as the season goes on. But
Yep.
yeah. All right, that was Coast to Coast, episode 1. Week 1, we just advanced to week 1. So,
Nice.
season's ready to start. Let's do it. I'll see you in a few, yeah?
Yeah, good run, Slime.
Sweet. Peace.
Peace, MBL.